It is a beautiful day at the Atlanta SpeedTour as the sun is just coming up. It is a little bit chilly. These Pirelli P0s are very cold, which became a story yesterday. I can feel that Tom Pank has had his tires on the warmer, but we've got about 43 cars starting this hour enduro with a mandatory 5-minute pit stop. The timing line, I believe, is right there. They start up there, they start a clock, usually in their cars and their crew, for the start of the 5 minutes. Tom Pank has been the best at nailing exactly 5 minutes at the end. That's a big strategy. Now, if he hits 4:59 and crosses, he does have to come back in for a penalty, come back through, which would probably put him out of contention. To International GT, these hour-long enduros are some of the most important races of the weekend. These are GT sports car drivers who take these enduros very seriously. So let's talk to Tuati. Is the enduro the important race to you?
Oh, I love all racing, but enduro takes a little bit different racecraft. You gotta make sure you have tires under you for a whole hour, so you gotta manage it. You know, management of your aggression.
And what's the strategy? Is the strategy to try to wait for a double yellow, or are you going to try to stick to a strategy if there isn't a double yellow? What have you told your crew?
No, we're going as far as we can and look for a yellow. If we can pit under yellow, then we're on the same boat as everybody else. If we pit under the green, we're going to be on our back foot.
Nice. Well, there you go. You heard it. If you pit under green, you might be on your back foot. Ken Fangler, let's talk about this. Explain the enduro, the hour-long enduro, to everybody out there.
This will be a 60-minute race. There's a mandatory 5-minute pit stop that basically can be taken any time throughout the race, although they have to complete it with about 10 minutes left in the go. So strategy will come into play. If there is a double yellow, hopefully not, but you know, the pits remain open so they can come in under that time. So as said, the podium drastically changes many times from the sprint race winners into this enduro. So we look forward to see what the outcome is.
Nice. I love it. Ken Fangler. Hey, did you have something you want to say? It looks like
one thing. All right, we look forward to a fantastic race and views from our camera car, which is sponsored by Surface Transform ceramic brakes. Okay, you know, and that's our brake partner, and we're very glad to have them on board. But look for some fantastic views from the in-car video from our Surface Transforms in-car camera.
Nice, I love it. Ken Fangler. There we go. Let's come over here, talk to Andy Pilgrim. Andy Pilgrim. We've known him for a long time in the Ferrari. Andy, can I open the door? So Andy, you're a veteran at these IGT Enduros. What's your strategy out there?
Well, with the cold tires and the sun glare in turn 12, it's like take it easy, make it through the first laps and see where we're at, then go racing. It's very, very cold tires today.
Nice. That's Andy Pilgrim. Let's get a shot of his helmet if you can. It's got all kinds of cartoons on there. Rick and Morty, South Park. You gotta love it. Love having Andy Pilgrim out here. Beautiful car in these Caymans. We'll come around here, see who else. Now, one of the best races yesterday was between David Tuati and Stephen Hammond. Steve was passed for the lead between 10A, 10B. They went side by side. So is he in your crosshairs today?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to forget that last lap yesterday for a while. That'll always be on the back of my mind now. So.
Now, what's your strategy in these enduros? Do you have a co-driver, or is it just you?
It's just me. So I think the name of this game is just be patient and just keep the pressure on.
Nice. I love it. Stephen Hammond, keep the pressure on. Now, Mark Matisse has a co-driver who's very good at Road Atlanta. Are we going to see Mike Skeen in your car today?
I think we will. If everything goes right, we'll see Mike around the 15, 16-minute mark.
Nice. So what's your strategy? If a yellow comes out early, are you coming in?
Well, it's going to be a last-minute decision, but we're going to kind of follow the pack.
Nice. I feel like a lot of our drivers aren't telling us right now because it's broadcasting out to all the other teams. But Mark Matisse is going to start. Then Mike Skeen, who won here in the TA2 race yesterday at his home track. So watch for Mark Matisse and Mike Skeen to move up. Let's come up and talk to Jimmy Adams and Mike Skinner because they're going to be going out. The Featherlight Jimmy, very impressed with how you were keeping up in the 3.8 yesterday. Then you've got your co-driver, Skinner. What's your strategy?
We're going to go out and see if we can just try to stick with the 4 liters if we can. You know, it's easier if you got a rabbit out front, so to speak. And if we can run with those guys and just have a clean start, have a clean race, I want to turn it over to Mike in good shape.
Nice. And then Mike Skinner, I'm sure that, you know, they refer to this as cup car racing, Porsche cup car racing. So you're like, yeah, I'm all in. Then you get out here and these things look a little different than what you're used to.
Yeah, they don't quite have the smoke that a cup car has, but I guess in their world they are, and they're really a lot of fun to drive. This car's been really, really fast as Jimmy's been. Heck, I don't need to get in it, but you know, that's kind of the game plan. So we're gonna go have some fun.
Nice. I love it. You heard it right there, Mike Skinner. Then we have another famous driver here. So Bierman's going out in there, thumbs up. I love it. So we've got Pippa Mann and Jody Miller. Pippa, can I speak to you real quick? What's your strategy for the Enduro? Because I know you're coaching Jody, and this race is all about strategy. Are you able to kind of broadcast what your strategy is?
Well, our strategy is it's all about the yellow and when it falls. I may drive, I may not drive. We're going to do whatever's best for Jody. That's the strategy.
Nice, and you guys had a good outcome at Sebring with your strategy, so you're just going to kind of let it fall and you're going to play to the strategy at the moment?
Absolutely. I had a proud moment. They actually rewrote the Enduro rules for me after Sebring so that everybody knows what we did actually is legal and it's now in black and white. At Sebring, it just wasn't written down. And so I went for the gamble and it worked. Nice.
I love it. So good strategy right there from Pippa Mann. We'll walk up, talk to the Ferrari driver if we can. It is cold. It is chilly outside. The wind is not as bad as it was yesterday, but the tires, I'm worried about the tires, and I know that even now the cars over here in the sun may have a little bit of an advantage. But now, as one of the lone Ferraris out there, John, you feeling pretty good?
Feeling good this morning, yeah. Ready to go. Ready to get this show on the road. It's cold out here, though. It's going to be an interesting start again.
I love it. So the drivers are definitely excited. Get a beautiful shot of this. I like this kind of like, it's almost like that heritage cream white. We've got Joe Rizzo up here, Kopinski. I can't walk the whole grid. The sun is just coming up, but I love some of these cars out here. This is our new Cayman class is really growing. You got to get a shot of this, and then hopefully somebody can explain that. So ladies and gentlemen, the cars are firing up. They're just about to go out for 2 pace laps. I'm gonna run up to the booth, but stay tuned for this awesome 60-minute with the 5-minute mandatory pit stop, International GT Enduro here at Road Atlanta with the Atlanta SpeedTour.
Great stuff, Ben, as always. Welcome, everyone. It's a beautiful day here at Road at Atlanta, here in the heart of Georgia, north of Atlanta. This one of the most famous circuits in North America. We're up there in the tower on the 2nd floor. Ben will join me in a moment, but you got a good insight there as to how they go about it. Everybody kind of keeping their cards and their strategy to themselves. And what I mean by that is, as you heard from Pippa Mann, if she doesn't have to drive, she may not. And the reason she said that is it's strategy, because if you don't get yellows, you don't want to be coming in. You want to be going green for as long as you can. And you certainly don't want to waste your pit stop in green, because it's a 5-minute mandatory pit stop. Now that gives you plenty of time to swap drivers, but also if you don't have to come in, why would you? So they've got to take that before 15 minutes of the race remain. Beautiful Georgia morning, no question about it. And we are in peach country, folks. And now you can see on the right-hand side of your screen the S's, which are downhill, and then on the left-hand side of your screen, the long kink through 9 and then down to the bottom of the hill 10, which is the obvious place to overtake. And yeah, deep in the heart of the Georgia countryside. You can feel the breeze, and it is chilly out there. I don't need to tell our cameramen that, they know. Mid-30s this morning when we got here in the dark, and this, what, 8 in the morning at the moment, so early start. And that is gonna be a factor, not because It's chilly for the feel against the skin, but because of the tires also suffer in the cold, so these 2 pace laps will be important. And early on in the race, got to be careful because you may not have those tires up to temperature. There's that beautiful Ferrari, not many of them out there. 458 Challenge car, the white one out there, and then a couple more 488 Evos. Juan Feyan is one of them in number 1768, getting ready to head out. That's David Tuati. We heard from him, and he, as you saw, ready to go and get ready to go racing. Looking forward to this. Ben Sissel's about to join me. He'll, I'm sure, give me an update on the weather because it looked pretty chilly when he was down there on the grid. So these 2 siding laps, you don't really pay a lot of attention to siding laps, but on a cold day like this, the real professionals get it right from the get-go. And it's important to get mechanical grip and temperature. That's where you get the mechanical grip once the tires, these Pirelli P0s, are up to temperature. Ben, am I right? Is it pretty chilly down there?
It is chilly, yeah, and the grid is just kind of split. So the people that started on the right side of the grid got a little bit more sun than the left side, and I was feeling people's tires, and Tom Pank obviously had his tires on tire warmers, the lead car, but like Dave Tuati, Steve Hammond obviously didn't. There was a noticeable difference.
So that's optional, I presume, and I guess that's down to whether you prefer or whether you want to have that cost, because really there's not many races that will be this chilly and this early for an endurance.
Yeah, and we saw it yesterday. I know Juan Gonzalez, I was talking to Butch Leitzinger, they used tire warmers, and we saw Juan Gonzalez kind of jump out yesterday in his races, especially the early morning race, just because of these tire warmers, and Juan goes out there with the confidence that the grip is going to be there, and the other drivers have to limp around because they're not sure. It's kind of like walking across a parking lot with ice. You know how you just kind of gingerly walk because you don't want to fall down? That's what these drivers are going to feel like probably the first 2 or 3 laps. But I did just hear that we might be doing 3 pace laps.
Yeah, that makes sense. And as you can see, as we look down from the drone, our Italian pilot, Logano, giving us all the views. And yeah, you can see some of the track bathed in sunshine here, but then when they go through the forest sections like here and down into 10, that's going to be cold down there because it's wooded and covered for now, so it won't warm up as quickly, and it's a bowl you'll see as they come down. You can see how thick the trees are, and now we go back into shadow, if you will. So you've got to be careful. That first braking point coming down here, which is a big overtaking place at 10A, it's going to be key, that first lap. So I think everybody will be pumping the brakes right now, trying to put some temperature in, but also feeling that track, that ice feel that you were talking about right there.
Now this track, it's almost like they designed it for the sun. You know, we have problems at Sunrise, at Circuit of the Americas going up turn 1.
Yep.
We have 2 problems at Sunset at Sebring. I mean, Sunset turn and turn 7.
Yeah.
But here, the sun at no turns here, to my knowledge, at this time of the year, the sun is not directly in somebody's eyes. The biggest problem is going to be coming into turn 1, but it's just to their left. Like if you're looking at a clock, the sun is about 10 o'clock, so it's not right at 12 o'clock like it is at some of the other tracks.
Yeah, you can see it's bright down there, but not, like you say, right in their eyes, so that's good. We got, what, 3 Panks out there?
Yeah. 3 Panks. We've got a few father and sons, but we were talking about this race, all about the strategy. And we were talking to Pippa Mann down there, who really got the strategy so right that she was able to prove it to the International GT board, and they basically made a Pippa Mann rule. Hopefully Ken comes up here to explain that. But if you joined us at Sebring, I need to publicly apologize. Got it all wrong. I did apologize to her personally the other day. That was me. That was not Jonathan. We were having audio problems up in the booth, so Jonathan couldn't hear me say it. I'm sure he would have corrected me. But Pippa, I'm so sorry. The Pippa fans, if I offended anybody, I'm definitely sorry. But I made a terrible call and meant nothing by it, and I just totally got it wrong. So I want to apologize to her and her family for that. But she has accepted my apology, and we've moved on, and I think she may be one of the best coaches, strategists out there with International GT, because she and Jody have really moved up in the leaderboards.
Yeah, and those of you who follow Indy, you'll know the name Pippa Mann because she makes regular entries into the Indy 500. That's her big race of the year, and each and every year she has to pull the sponsorship together, which she does brilliantly. And she's been racing here. I've known Pippa since she was, she was about, 18, 19 in Formula Renault, and she's had a great career up to date. And finding sponsorship, marketing well, and getting in. There's our scissor lift. Old Lake up there on the scissor lift, keeping warm, I'm sure. He's got an extra coat on this morning. And we are getting ready to go racing.
Looks like lights are out, you're right. So 2 pace laps. Look at this field. This is going to be a crazy race. Lots of strategy.
Look at the tape on Pank's car as well.
Trying to keep air out of the engine, trying to get that right optimal operating temperature.
Yeah, not too hot, not too cold. Learned that yesterday from Ray Everingham. And I want to thank Ray and Wally Dollenbach. Here we go then. Down the hill they come, and we are green in our Enduro, and away goes Tom Pank.
Got a little sideways on that start, did Pank.
Good start also by the 72 of Steve Hanman. Like you said, he's not going to forget yesterday, so he's riled up for today, and he's diving into, third place? On board with the Ferrari. And Patrick Mullaney, we saw a lot of him yesterday in the 458 Challenge car. He's, mid-pack right now, and one of the few Ferraris out there. Let's see how he does.
So they get into a train here, don't they, Jonathan? From about turn 3, it's pretty much single file. A car's got to be going really slow to want to pass here, but then they come up. There's a little bit of a passing zone into here, Mission Foods turn 7, but they've got to get turn 8 right because they'll come into their big passing zone at 10A.
Yeah, as you can see, a little bit of Andy Pilgrim going through, a chance to overtake there. Pilgrim takes that chance, but here's turn 8. This is the key. Yeah, look, from above, it's really obvious. You've got to get good long drive out of this corner because look how long this straight is. It seems to go on forever, and you can see the black car there on the left-hand side in the middle of your screen making the most.
That's going to be a story today. Andy Pilgrim's in a Cayman. Everybody else is in just more powered Porsche. So Andy Pilgrim can probably maneuver around them like he's doing right now, but they're going to be able to outpower him on the straights. But if you know anything about Andy Pilgrim, you know that he can make some fantastic passes. So he's going to be passing people going into 8s, and then they might get him back. But eventually he's going to work his way through the field because being Atlanta can be an advantage for almost half of the track.
Well, and I mentioned this yesterday, but it really was a case of Pilgrim's progress yesterday. He made 3 wins last year in this event, and so we're always keeping an eye on Andy Pilgrim because he can win any other race wherever he starts.
So a big gap there to the second group.
So a good clean start, and like I said, everybody wary in this first 15 minutes or so. We're only 5 minutes in, and so you've got to still be careful. You can see the shadows down at the bottom, here at the bottom of this valley, if you will, and the same at 10A. Just making sure that you don't get too hot on the gas and spin the car.
There's John Patrick Mullaney there in our white Ferrari, our camera car today. Now we're in car with him. You can see he's just light on the brakes. Now watch him get really hard on the throttle right there. And that's the key to this corner, is getting on the gas early enough, taking the corner well enough to be able to get on the gas. And it's just a drag race now into 10A.
Yeah, look at those RPMs, up to over 140, up to 160 miles an hour, just under, as he dives down to turn 10. So it's Pank, Twatty, Hammond in 3rd place, Mattis in 4th, then Jimmy Adams up to 5th already, Brady Berman down to 6th, Juan Fayan in 7th position, Marcel Fayan, that's how they finished yesterday together on track, Jody Miller and Pippa Mann's car in the number 3 down in 9th position, and Pilgrim at the moment in 10th. There's your leader. Good battle here now for 2nd.
Just like it was both races yesterday.
Yeah.
Stephen Hammond, David Tuati, we were talking about this. They both were with TLM. And the cars are set up to David Tuati, set up exactly the same, very equally yoked. Stephen Hammond is quite a few years younger than David Tuati, so it's youth versus experience here as they come into Mission Foods turn 7.
Yeah, and what he was talking about, it was literally the last corner of the last lap. I think he got a good drive out of 10B and just beat him up the hill and to the line.
Yeah, I watched their in-car last night in the hotel. They were side by side through 10A, through 10B, giving each other just enough room. There's so much respect between these drivers, but it was just that David Tuati had the right-hand side coming under the bridge.
Well, it's pretty similar. Look how close they've brought Tom Pank in, though. Pank, I think, is just being, as he told you, a little bit conservative in the opening laps, and they've caught right up to him now.
Yeah, looks like he's managing. The Mario Andretti saying of win as slowly as you can. That might be in Tom Pank's mind right now.
Yeah, that's exactly the Alain Prost school of thought as well.
And I got to give it up for Tom Pank. We were talking about this last night. We had a staff meeting after yesterday's International GT race, and we owe Tom Pank a lot. He was very heads-up driving yesterday in the race. He and Corey Friedman really kept us out of what could have been a really bad incident. So I got to give it up for Tom Pank and Corey Friedman for heads-up driving yesterday.
And Corey not doing the Enduro.
Yeah, he had an off yesterday after the on the last lap. I think he blew a tire, hit a curb, hit the wall. But look at this, Jonathan.
Side by side into 7. Tuati holding on. And, he thought about it, didn't he, in the 72?
He did.
Great battle this, Steve. Really racy at the moment. Now we can see it high above. You can see the angle between 7, which is quite open, and then how tight 8 is.
Yeah, that's a great shot of how different those turns are, because a lot of times a lot of drivers will try to treat those the same. And
that's a big mistake.
There's banking on turn 7. There isn't banking on 8. 8 will pretty much throw you out into the outside wall.
Yeah, I went out there yesterday. I hadn't realized how cambered it was at 7. So you really can dive deep into there. I was watching Chris Dyson go through there, who's an expert, of course. And a lot of camber on that corner. So it's faster than it looks, but 8 is much tighter and off camber.
That's a great shot there by Rob at turn 1. Getting in really close to these cars. Look at Tom using these curbs, but let's look for Steve Hammond to kind of duck out at turn 7 again. He's in that red car just behind that bright orange 68 of Dave Tuati. Look at that. He's right on him. Yeah. They are having a blast.
Yeah, that Martini car 72 with the sun glinting off it is surely going to make a move fairly slick. He's going to try and get a little slipstream here. Does he jink out here? No, he stays in. Yeah. He's going to choose to try to get the drive down the back straight. He'll slot right behind him here, and that's nice driving by both of them. You can see it from above. Pank has pulled away. He's got about 5 car lengths, but the battle is on for 2nd and 3rd now. Yeah, it's funny. Tuati just has that drive, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He can't get in a slipstream and therefore get the momentum. He's about 2 car lengths and coming down into 10. I don't think he's going to get it done this time.
And to be honest, talking to the drivers, they kind of made it sound like they thought there would be an early yellow. And right now, the tires are probably getting pretty warmed up. I don't know if they're to optimal temperature just yet, but they're getting close. And I think now we're getting into the rhythm. The drivers are kind of wearing in. Really impressed with Jimmy Adams. About to come into view here. There's Mark Matisse. And there's Jimmy Adams right there, 3-4-3.
And he's in a battle and a half. Look at this.
And that 4-liter should be able to take him there on that front straight, but Jimmy holds his line.
That's good racing. Back up the hill. And from there on in, it's very hard to do any overtaking until you start going back uphill after this downhill S's section.
That's Marcel Fan. Juan Fan. So right now, Jimmy Adams is in a fan sandwich.
There's Andy Pilgrim. Yep.
That's a beautiful car. I really like the lines of the Caymans.
Yeah. Quite a different car, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't have the power. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more nimble. But, those new Cayman 4-liters are just crazy powerful cars.
I get the feeling, listening to you on the grid, that what people are looking for, especially if they're going to drive a change, is to stay. If it stays green, they just keep going. But they're almost waiting for a yellow. One driver said, if I get a yellow, I'm coming straight in and giving it over.
Yeah, because a pace lap is about twice as long as a normal racing under green conditions, so that gives you a huge advantage. There's so much strategy to these. Sometimes they want to put their pro driver in early, even if it's not going to go green. Sometimes they put them in late. It's and then it's fun because you really don't know how it's going to turn out until the last few laps.
Mini Pank. Is that Lucas? Yes, he had an off yesterday and was stuck in the gravel, but he just jinked out there and got an inside move up the hill. Nicely done.
Yeah, Lucas is a really good driver, aggressive like his dad, but and he's beat his dad a few years ago with us at VIR. So it's really fun to watch Lucas and Tom race against each other.
And Lucas currently in 9th position, just ahead of Andy Pilgrim, the number 4 you're looking at now, as we head back and go back to this battle.
But how cool is it? We've got father-sons out there. We've got father-son-sons out there. Lots of families. International GT also. It's a funny race group because I can't tell if it's more about the party or more about the racing. It's almost equal on scale of what's more important, and that just makes for some really fun weekends.
Yeah, I get the feeling. I mean, we talk about double yellows. Well, these guys are so good that they don't make mistakes very often. You saw the caution because of the cold. They've all heeded to that. The tires are up to temperature now, and they can go for it. But we don't often get, big cautions in these races because these guys are so good.
I can't look at that 789 car without thinking of that bad dad joke.
Here we go. Mike Skeen getting ready.
Woo.
And he put on a great show yesterday in TA2. Former TA2 champion and always good round road Atlanta. Loves this place.
So look for Mark Matisse to come into the pits. Mark Matisse currently running in 4th place, and he's going to put the pro at his home track out there in the car. That is going to give Tom Pank a run for his money. Look at Mike Skeen cracking his knuckles.
Now, it's going to be interesting because when he comes in, he has to do a 5-minute mandatory stop, right? So however quickly they change, they have to wait the full in time.
We have a change there with Stephen Hammond.
Yep.
Got the best of David Tuati. And then they're going to come into some lap traffic here. So Stephen Hammond over David Tuati. Another pass. This is going to shape up to be good. Just got word that Ken Fangler's going to be joining us here pretty soon. But we want to explain the reason for a 5-minute pit stop is we don't want them to rush. If they have to refuel, we definitely don't want them to rush refueling. But then taking a driver out, putting a new driver into the seat, buckling the seat belts, putting on the Hans devices, that's something that we don't want to rush. So we want to make sure that everybody does that safely. So therefore, the 5-minute pit stop.
And it's interesting, 2nd and 3rd getting into some traffic now, and both of them scything through. But that could be another part of the strategy. If this gets thick with traffic, they might choose to come in just for that fact alone.
So we have Ken Fangler, president of International GT, joining us so far.
I've seen a good race, which is a little different sometimes a day can make, but the dodgy part was getting them off this morning in this very chilly weather. I don't think 2 laps was even going to be. We could have done 10 laps and still not enough tire temp. And so I'm very thankful that the guys got off safely and we're underway. And now's for the fun part. So we got some good racing going on throughout. And, not only at the front of the field with Hammond and Twatty, but throughout the field. You look here and there's cars nose to tail all around the track.
So I just got word that Mark Matisse may be coming into the pits right now.
And that'll put Skeen in the car.
So, man, if you're talking to Tom Pank on the radio, the man that just won the TA2 race yesterday in his home track is about to get in the 77 car of Matisse, who's kept it up front. What are you telling Tom Pank?
That the rocket's going in, and he knows. But the good thing with Tom, he loves the competition. He's happier when he's got somebody to chase him or to chase. So we'll see. Matter of fact, kind of funny. That car is categorized as a 4.1, which basically is a 4-liter with improvements. Okay, a number of these cars throughout the paddock had a number of modifications to get 50 plus more horsepower out of them, and the Matisse car is one of them. He's categorized at 4.1. I think Tom was the one who coined that. Once Skeen gets in, it's the 4.1S. Okay,
nice. I see, yeah. So yeah, like you say, leisurely, relatively so compared to sort of Le Mans or IMSA or whatever, because they've got the 5 minutes, so there's no need to rush. They can do everything safely, and like you say, get the hands device off, get the driver out of the car. Skeen's done this a million times, and our man Tony Garcia doing the business.
But notice here that, you know, Mark Matisse is able to get out at kind of his leisure. They're going to get in, and that just makes the competition a little bit better, because you don't want to have to hire now crews to come in and do really quick tire changes. We want to make sure that the drivers get in safely, and go back out. And it kind of makes it fair across the board. But look at this. Tom Pank hasn't really been able to pull the gap that I would expect him to be able to pull on Tawadi and Hammond. Why do you think that is, Ken?
Because Hammond and Tawadi are very fast right now. I mean, Tom ran in ideal situations at 22. He's running 24 was his best time, but so is Steve Hammond and Dave Tawadi. And they're running it consistently. I think Tom can turn up the wick if need be a little bit, but he's running as to what he needs now. Once Skeen gets out there after this pit stop and chases, we'll see where it goes on. The other thing I'll mention, as you was talking about the 5-minute pit stop, one of the other part of the rules is that the co-driver change, there's a minimum drive of 20 minutes on this, and so that inclusive of the pit stop. So this was part of the Mark Matisse's plan, that at 20 minutes they want to put Skeen back in the car and be out there on track. So they fulfilled the minimum drive time of the car owner or driver of record.
Well, go ahead.
Pippa Mann was talking to us about a new strategy that I guess there's now like a Pippa Mann rule. Can you explain that?
It's a mandate.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. You have to tell me. I don't know what they're actually. She's always asking questions. She's great. Pippa's done a great job. Coaching here, and but she's ultimate strategist and looking out for her clients, her team, and just trying to have fun. So I'll have to find out. I'll have to find out specifically. It hasn't made it up line to me, or should I say down line to me?
Yeah. So because of your new staff, it hasn't made it to the top, right? They're dealing with it there. I love it. Oh, look at that! I love it. Road Atlanta showing the blue flags as they should be. The corner workers, we appreciate that.
Well, the top three are glued together now.
They really are. Steve Hammond really showing us some talent here.
Yeah, really a new driver, young guy. You see, he definitely has the bit and is going away. And he was second on the first 2 races, but this doesn't surprise me at all, and I know it doesn't surprise Dave Tawadi.
So Dave Tawadi, those closing the gap. And if you know Dave Tawadi, if we had audio of him right now, he's giggling.
We've got 4 cars now in the pits, including Mike Skeen, who sat and waiting for his time to go out. And a 5th car just coming in now in the back of his shot there.
Yeah, I'd say with those cars in pit lane, a number of those cars are playing up to that strategy of leaving the driver of record in for the minimum 20 minutes.
Tawadi got him into 10A, it looks like.
Yep.
But man, Stevens is right behind him. That is almost bump drafting. Another sticker on the front of that car might have gotten him.
Yeah, this was a battle yesterday, and it's a battle today, too. What a great battle these two are having.
So I got to tell you, Ken, when you were coming down to the podium yesterday, I put a camera in the face of these 2 drivers, and it looked like they just had the best time of their lives. And that's the camaraderie here, that even though the other driver beats you, if you have a great race like these 2 are having right now, look at this, going through the lap traffic, unbelievable. It was like the best day of their life coming out of the car.
Yeah, yep, they did have a good run. They did.
So I'm hearing word that Skeen should be leaving in about 25 seconds to the timing line. And that's a big strategy. They want to hit that timing line at about 5 to 5:01. But if they hit it at 4:59, we can penalize them.
Yep, yeah. And timing and scoring is very accurate on this stuff. So you'll see on this, you notice that Tom Pank got to pull away a bit due to getting held up 2 slower cars and working traffic, and they did it masterfully. They did a good job on it. They didn't push it and jam it in there. They did the right thing, but there's a long way to go in this race, as they know. So no harm, no foul.
Whoa, wow, there you see
Skeen in
it.
front of Pank now, so now Pank's going to be looking at the back of Skeen, but I think Skeen, he's got to get used to the car. He was in a very different car yesterday, so now Mike Skeen is within eye shot of Tom Pank. Let's see what they do here now.
Well, Pank will try to catch him because he's gone onto cold tires at the moment. 5 minutes will cool him down pretty nicely. Skeen knows that. And here comes Pank.
What's the lap difference? Surely 2 laps probably, right?
At least, yeah.
But man, look at this battle. So there they are. What I would say is the top for the overall podium in our shot right now.
And now we're starting to slot through those
Says 4 laps.
pit stops. And here comes Tom Pank.
Yeah, that was Joe Rizzo. Joe Rizzo probably given over to Spencer Pumpelly.
Yeah.
So we got some big names in this race today.
Big names.
So Tom Pank looking there at the back of Mike Skeen. Probably going to try to take him into 12.
Yeah, when you start attracting the likes of Spencer Pumpelly, you know you got a good series.
Yeah.
Look at that. There he goes. Tom Pank over Mike Skeen into 12. Now, Mike Skeen, probably one of the most calculating drivers we have in the Trans Am series. He's just going to run his race, let the race come to him.
Yeah, really, this will be entertaining to watch, but it really, our full picture won't be in view until that Tom gets his pit stop in.
Yeah.
He is really going to have to rely on the Ultra Performance team to do it dead on 5 minutes. That he will not be able to afford that 2 or 3 seconds over. So we won't know how this story ends until the end of the race, but certainly we'll have a much better picture after he completes the 5-minute stop.
Hammond on the inside at 7, and he gets through. A slight mistake under braking by the 68, and through goes Steve Hammond. Nicely done.
I don't know if that was a mistake or if that was Tuati seeing the speed coming up and saying, let's live to fight another day here.
Fair enough.
Because David Tuati has to work on both these cars. He didn't want to have to fix both of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. No, I think that's just the enjoyment of the jousting, okay? And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, that's the Enduro.
Yeah.
Now, if this were lap one of the sprint feature races, I'm not sure we would have gotten that race.
Or the last lap of the Enduro.
Juan Fayant in that number 17 car.
So we were wondering, two fans out there. Is that father-son, brothers?
Yes,
okay, that's father-son. Wow.
So which is which?
The Ferrari is Juan is in the Ferrari, the father, and Marcel, the son, is in the Porsche.
And it's the youngster who's ahead at the moment in 4th, while Juan is 5th.
There's our camera car. So explain the camera car sponsorship.
Yeah, Surface Transforms came on, carbon ceramic brake packages, and they came on with us this year, manufactured over in England, and here have representative here in the States, and great to have them on board. We look forward to a number of competitors having their brake systems, carbon ceramic brake systems.
Father-son.
That was a bit of fun for a moment, wasn't it? What are you doing, Junior?
Patrick Mullaney in the car. Chris Hall getting into our Surface Transforms carbon ceramics camera car.
What's the thinking on a second driver? Is it sort of who's available, or choice, or just expense maybe?
No, it's certainly not expense, because most of the time the person getting in the car is the pro coach. All right, they've been here all weekend.
They're here anyway.
Yeah, they're here. Yeah, and you know what? It's just an enjoyable time to say, hey, let me how well we can do an enduro. Put the pro in the guy, and it's that measuring stick for the sportsman driver who's hired the pro to come along and say, yeah, I guess, all right, he's still a second and a half, 2 seconds faster than me. I guess I got some work to do.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because now I understand Pippa's remark of, if I have to get in the car, I'll get in the car. Yeah. But really, that's not why she's here. She's here to help him
yes, absolutely.
get better.
Absolutely, yes.
But there we have a pass again from Mike Skeen over Tom Pank. Now that's we won't know what that means until near the end of the race, but still now Mike Skeen is showing his speed on Pank, and now Pank has got to be thinking, looking at every corner station, where's that double yellow?
Yeah, exactly. And that will change the race, won't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if a double yellow comes out, it's definitely going to lean towards Tom Pank, if he comes in, but I'm sure he would.
Well, I'm sure he'll play this out to the end, hoping he has to the 40-minute mark to make his pit stop. He's got to be in at the 40-minute mark. There is a rule that they have to be, the pit 5-minute stop has to be completed with 15 minutes left in the race.
Gotcha.
So he's got to be in.
Tom Pank losing speed at the top there.
Yeah.
He's, I don't know if he's coming in, but he is. That doesn't look normal. He shouldn't be slowing down like that on that back straight. So we're going to see what happens here with Tom Pank. We look right there, great shot of him coming through. Looks like he's back on it, but he lost a lot of speed. So let's see if he comes through the background there into the pit lane. There he goes. Yeah, Tom Pank's coming in. So we're going to see how this plays out.
Yep, there you go. And he has retired it. He's retired it. He's gone into the paddock, guys.
Now that technically, you're not out of the race. Sometimes they can go into the paddock and still do their 5-minute.
Yep.
He might come in for he knows that he needs something.
Okay.
So he's not. We can't say if he's out of the race yet. But based on what I'm seeing by my eyes, they are looking under the car right now.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look. He's just out of my...
And he doesn't look like he's in a hurry to get out of the car and see what that is. So just by body language, I'd say he might be conceding. But no, he's getting out. No, he's looking. There's no give up in Tom Pank.
No. I mean, we wouldn't be surprised. All his cars look the same. He'd go back and get another car and come back out. Yeah.
And slap another sticker on there and try to pull one over on you maybe.
I'm reading the body language, and it's a shrug of the shoulders. And, yeah, something not right.
Well, if you gentlemen don't mind, I think it'd be really interesting to have Tom Pank up here with us. So I'm gonna go down there real quick and invite him to come up here with us.
Hijack him. Go ahead. Why not? But yeah, he's just over there, about 100 yards from our position. So we might well be able to get him in. Yeah. Well, that's a bit of a surprise, Ken. That changes everything, doesn't it?
It does. Always does. That's the great thing about these races. You'd never know. Otherwise, we'd give out the trophies before the race started.
There you go. Well, we're looking at this man. Winner of TA2 yesterday, of course, Mike Skeen, but at the moment, Stephen Hammond leading the race. David Tuati in second place. Tom Pank, sadly, it looks as though he's got problems. We'll find out what. Then it's Marcel and Juan Fayan in fourth and fifth. Then Jimmy Adams in sixth place. And that Ferrari that we've been on board with, here he is again, Patrick Mullaney.
Yeah, I think they were. I think they had a pit lane speed violation. I think they're going to be on a black flag situation for a drive-through due to excessive speed on pit lane.
Yeah, last lap at 139 compared to his best of 128. Somebody going past our commentary position and throwing up a bunch of dust. Now that's interesting. We've got an ambulance in the pit lane. I don't know why that is.
Race control doesn't know. We don't quite know what's going on there.
That's a bit weird. Never mind.
What? I don't know. Oh.
So then, Stephen Hammond, David Tuati, Marcel Fayen now up to third place with Juan behind him in that Ferrari. So we've got the black Porsche GT3 against the black Ferrari in the Fayen household. And Dad just behind, youngster in third place. And there you see it. And Jimmy Adams, really impressive, up to fifth place now. But of course he hasn't stopped. And in fact, I've just seen him go underneath our commentary position. And he will now take his mandatory pit stop. Tim Savage putting in his fastest lap of 1:28.092. So compared to the leaders there on the 1:24s. But Stephen Hammond laying down some excellent laps at the moment. His last lap at 1:25.6. Tuati on a 1:26.5. Less than half an hour to go, and we're now getting towards that window, Ken, as you mentioned. Let's just mention it again at 40 minutes, i.e. 40 minutes into the race, so less than, 10 minutes from now, everybody has to take their mandatory 5-minute pit stop, right?
Yes, well, we say they have to. If they don't,
if they don't,
they're going to suffer a penalty. So, yeah, they should take their pit stop by then.
So the gap between Hammond and Tuati is, 4.5 seconds. And then quite a gap to third place, Fayan. And that's the 17. And it looks as though the Porsche of the younger Fayan is taking his. Here comes the 789 now into the pits. And that's Tim Haynes. Norm Goldrich will take over, as you can see, doing the procedure again. There's Norm on the right. And no real drama there as Mike Skeen continues to side his way through. Interesting, Andy Pilgrim just behind. So here is Skeen again, coming down towards 10A. I love the colors on that car.
Yeah, lots of bright cars in this field. You've got Tuati out there in that what he calls camouflage orange, and then there's Matisse. The Panks are all this day glow green. They definitely aren't shy about their colors.
Yeah, no, certainly the wrap business is in full play here, and we see those great fluorescent colors which come alive. And really, you know, what's great about racing is what I call car artwork. You know, and there were cars back in the 70s and so forth, that iconic liveries and and really the BMW art cars that I remember, and they put in, you know, art galleries and so forth and considered. And I think most of them, I think everybody uses their car as a blank canvas to express what they want the car to look like, and it's wonderful to see. You know, as I said, they're all different.
And interestingly enough, just as we watch Mike Skeen, he's down in 21st place, but that, you know, we can't read too much into that until everything's changed, right?
Yeah, certainly. We won't know until these pit stops are finished out, especially of the front-running cars of Steve Hammond, Dave Tuati. You know, those are the cars that will really up on the front, competing, running, you know, lap times in the 24s. So yeah, we'll see where they play out.
So that's our leader, Stephen Hammond. Again, if you're just joining us, this is an Enduro with a mandatory 5-minute pit stop. He is our current leader. Was in second and third overall during the race. There's David Tuati. So it's all going to come down to these pit strategies. So David came in early. There's like 6 or 7 TLM cars here this weekend, so they couldn't pit at the same time because they just don't have the staff. So they all knew that they had to come in at different times to give their staff a little bit of a break and a breather to man each of these. But to my knowledge, Stephen Hammond and David Tuati are running the whole race.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I also think 5 minutes is probably, I would say, enough to kind of get your breath, get back. It's not like a 3-hour stint or whatever. Yeah. You know, you can deal with that in 5 minutes. Get your breath back, get yourself sorted, and away you go.
Yeah.
And Stephen Hammond has a few decades of years advantage, maybe, over David Tuati.
Yeah, right.
David Tuati's in great shape, and he acts like a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
But, you know, Stephen Hammond
is almost a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Now, on the move.
Yep.
There's that camouflage orange. It's only camouflage in my pink flamingos.
That's
There
it.
you go.
So look, he's coming out slow.
Yeah.
He's trying to hit the mark right at 5 minutes.
Yep.
And this is such a game for him.
Yeah.
He loves it. And he's going to be really excited if he hits it at 5 or 5:01, but pretty disappointed if it's like 5:05 or 5:06.
Hey, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, the margin of error, he doesn't have that much room.
And really
not with the
disappointed at
competition.
4:59.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Stephen having a slight advantage here. You know, what could have played out, he has 3 minutes left to get into the pits, all right? But in this time, the 5 minutes that Tuati was in, plus the 3 minutes, there was an 8-minute window that if a yellow came out, if a double yellow came out, it would have been advantage Hammond greatly, because he would take the advantage of having his 5-minute stop under the yellow lap. So really, David gave him the advantage on that, or gambled on it, that there would not be. Still 2.5 minutes left to come in, and he'll be fine.
He doesn't want to be too slow on this lap, though, because he could cut that fine.
Yeah,
too.
well, I would say he better
He's
be
fine.
coming in on the next one, because otherwise he's going to, it's just too close.
I like the system you set up here. It makes for intriguing racing and a lot more strategy.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the nice thing about it. We have guys. I can think of one guy, my co-founder in this series, Bill Riddell. And Bill always says, I love enduros, and he was on the podium all the time, and he'll be back racing with us. He's here this weekend in a new position, Director of Driver Development and Safety, and but he loved enduros, and he was a great enduro driver and strategist, okay? And the sprints, he'd do okay, but really his forte was the enduros.
It's what he loved.
Yeah, and was good at it, and that his results showed that.
So we're with the leader, Steve Hammond, as he comes into Franklin Road, turn 10A here at Road Atlanta. Will he duck in? Didn't look like he was going the speed to duck in, but was that him right there? I couldn't tell. There he is.
Yes,
he's
in. Yeah.
Is that his dad in front of him?
Yes, yeah.
So that's his dad in front of him coming into the pits. 2 teammates, and Jody Miller just coming in to put Pippa Mann in the seat. So we've got 3 TLM cars coming in at the same time. That's a lot to handle for that team.
Down to a minute left on the 20-minute window.
Cutting it close.
Yep.
So now if a double yellow comes out.
If the double yellow comes out now while these guys are in the pits, they're celebrating.
Yeah.
James Hammond, like you say, and the 176 comes in. And there's our man of the moment, Stephen Hammond.
Stephen Hammond, yeah. But Tony, our cameraman, if you can hear us, get a shot of James Hammond's car. One of the coolest cars up close behind you. I love this. We were talking about the liveries on the cars. I love the tribute liveries like we're talking about with the Martini. But it's really cool to see. Like this car, I feel like is peacocking a little bit, showing us its colors. Really cool lines on these Porsches.
Already skiing up to 12th position. So this is going to be an intriguing finish to this one.
Good racing throughout the throughout there. Lots of new people with us. David Willens, as I'm looking through, and currently in 8th place in 3.8 liter class. Kevin Maxim in the Caymans. Caymans are running with us, all right, in this Enduro. We didn't make much mention, but this is totally combined. We had run the sprint races, split with the Caymans in a separate group. But this Enduro, the Caymans, and just looking down, Andy Pilgrim has been the class of the Caymans and doing well.
There's Pippa.
Yeah, and she gets.
Yep. But Andy Pilgrim, Anthony Bartone, a number of Caymans.
It's kind of neat talking to the pros, and Pippa made mention to this in an email that her goal is to get her driver on the podium. So now she's getting in the car thinking, we're getting on the podium. I got to do everything I can as a driver coach to get us on the podium. Well, and that's really cool to see.
Yeah, and the good news was that she's there with Jody Miller, and he did it by himself in the 2 sprint races.
Yeah.
So there we go.
And there's Mike Skeen passing my dad joke car, 789. Why 6 afraid of 7? Right there. Because 789.
Oh, Dad.
Oh, yeah, you're Dad. Can you like dad jokes?
Yes.
So there is Mike Skeen. Right now, if we were doing fantasy football, International GT, I'd put him up top. But you never know how this plays out.
Yeah, he's up to 10th overall.
Oh, and he's right behind Tuwati.
And Pank.
Yeah, I think that's Nicholas Pank there.
Yeah, Nicholas Pank.
So we can confirm that Tom Pank is out of the race. He said he was having some clutch issues. So now he's probably sidetracked watching his son plays out. So that's unfortunate for Tom.
Yeah, this is a good group now. And Skeen trying to keep it clean, but make his way through. Gets a good drive out of 10B. They'll be side by side under the bridge. And through goes Skeen.
And now it's going to be Mike Skeen on Andy Pilgrim. I mean, think of the names that are in this race. That's just crazy. Great shots there as they come around. Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 1 here at Road Atlanta. There's David Tuwati. Some of these curbs are not very agreeable to the cars. They can really knock the cars loose.
Well, speaking of yesterday, that was what put Corey Friedman out in the Audi, and he fully admitted he got too far up on the curb. It broke an upright in the rear, and I saw it hit the curb pretty hard, and it came down straight, and I said, oh, he's gathered it up, and he said, well, no, he said it may look good from the outside, but I had no control at that point. The back end came around, and he just touched the wall there, but that's what happened yesterday, and that was right on the last lap of the race, but he really slammed the curb, and the Audi wasn't real happy with that.
Ken, at the beginning, when Ben was talking to some of the drivers, they're all talking about tyre management, obviously with the cold tyres at the start. But what about towards the end of the race?
You know what? I'd say Pirelli gives us such a fantastic product. They don't see the tire degradation throughout this race. Not at this. If you were really pushing beyond, I'd say once you get beyond the hour mark, and I don't know, I'm not a tire engineer, but once you get past that, then you'll start to see it falling off. And also, the weight of these cars is not such, and horsepower is not such that in a TA car. You hear that in the TA side of things, that they're always managing the tires.
Look at that. So Stephen Hammond out in front of David Tuwati. They all the TLM cars came out at the same time. Now he's out in front. He's got a car between them, but they should be on the same lap count now, right?
Yeah.
So James Hammond lets Steven by there in the 176. Beautiful car. I really like the livery of that car, that 176. And there's David Tuwati, 2 cars between them, and Andy Pilgrim's one of them.
Yeah, it's really good. This is good strategy now playing out. Now we've got the pit stops. We're going to see a race now for this last 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to see how it's going to play out when they cross over our start-finish line and timing and scoring catches up. And we're going to see what's going to play out here in the last 15 minutes of this 60-minute race.
Pippa Mann up to 7th place. She's chasing Marcel Fan. David Tuwati's in 5th at the moment. Mattis in 4th. Then Juan Fan in 3rd place. And Mark Mattis and Mike Skeen moving up to 2nd now. So Skeen's playing this right.
Mark Matisse and Mike Skeen do have the fastest lap at a 1:21.916 right now.
Yeah. Skeen's last lap at 1:22.7. That's still pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the fastest lap that I've seen this weekend out of this group. No surprise.
Now, the number 331, David, how do I say his last name?
Here's how I say it, K. All right, David K.
David K, that's good.
Yeah.
So there he is.
Cucciaroli.
Stephen Hammond.
Right.
Jimmy Adams. This is going to be quite the race here.
Cucciaroli is what I'm going with.
Right, yeah.
But he at the moment leads the race, but Skeen's coming hard and fast. And someone getting a black flag there.
Yeah, there's a pit lane violation.
Okay.
There's a pit lane speed violation. So yeah.
Our pit lane speed is 40 miles an hour. That's for safety for everybody. There's Jimmy Adams, David Tuati, Pippa Mann. This is shaping up, just like it always is, shaping up to be a great race here. So that should be Mike Skinner there in the Jimmy Adams car, right?
I guess, yeah.
Mike Skinner is out there with David Tuati. Listen to the names we're talking about. Pippa Mann, Mike Skinner, Mike Skeen, Andy Pilgrim, Spencer Pompelli.
You just covered IMSA, GT, IndyCar,
and I believe,
NASCAR.
Yeah, I think Eric Figueroas is in the car. Eric, I think, is in the beer car, as I call it, the green and black Cayman. So everybody's getting their shot here this morning.
So there he is, Mike Skinner. There's Pippa Mann. Beautiful car. I love these blue cars. Maybe because it's kind of that SVRA blue, but I just love it. Here we are on board.
Surface
Look
transform
at the inputs.
Car. Yeah, car 36 Ferrari. This is Chris Hall, co-driver. Speaking of pro drivers, another guy.
Wow.
Yep, Chris Hall, accomplished guy, been around a long time. Loves his motorcycle racing, but spends a lot of time in four-wheel.
Look at his hands. He looks pretty relaxed in that car. The car looks to be set up pretty well.
Yeah, I can see why these pros really enjoy this kind of racing, because it's hard, it's fast, but it's fun.
Yeah. I think the
look at his hands in this part of the track. This is a really complicated part of the track.
Good view of the ST surface transforms, carbon ceramics on the dashboard.
Oh yeah.
That car looks really good. He looks very comfortable in there.
Yeah, he spends a lot of time with John Patrick with this car. He has a couple of cars. He was in the 360 in the SVRA race. So got two cars here.
Pippa Mann currently in 8th position. She just did a 127.9 there, currently in 8th at the moment. That's the Jody Miller Pippa Mann car, the number 3.
Man, that looks fast, that in car there.
And there it is.
Yeah. Mike Skinner versus Pippa Mann. I don't think that's ever been said before.
Well, nor was, what did you say yesterday? Nor was Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, we had Ricky Bobby on the track with us yesterday in the SVRA stock car group.
Fun times. Yeah, I smiled when I saw that car come by.
Look at this. Pippa Mann looking to the inside of Mike Skinner. Just trying to get into his mirrors.
And she should, as they come down the hill, not quite pulling it off. Past our commentary position, she's got another opportunity now into turn 1. Not quite close enough, though.
Mike Skinner in the, both of them in the 3.8 liter.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's an in-class battle right there. 3.8 liters, both of them.
I was joking with Mike Skinner. I said, when you got the call to come cup car racing, you probably got here and thought, this is not my kind of cup car.
He said, yeah, they don't smoke as much.
Yeah. Mike Skinner, we were talking at your party the other night. He said when he came into the NASCAR Truck Series, the rule book was like this thick, meaning like maybe 40 pages. He said after Mike Skinner, it was like 400 pages.
Yeah. It's tough when most of the rules are called the Mike Skinner rules, right? Yeah.
And now we might have a Pippa Mann rule in the International GT.
Now she's on the back straight, and we'll have another go here, but Skinner doing a good job of holding that gap. They are fighting for 7th and 8th at the moment. Mike Skeen leads the race. Hammond second, that's Stephen Hammond in the 72. David Tuati in 3rd. Marcel Fayen in 4th position, then Juan Fayen in that black Ferrari in 5th. 9 minutes to go.
You know, we're winding down this race. It's been a good race, been a good weekend. I'd like to thank SVRA for hosting this Speed Tour event.
Pip goes through.
Especially like to thank our marketing partners, Pirelli and Mission Foods, Surface Transformers, our in-car camera shots for this race. Been great new partner, Interlake and Fixie Wheels, who provided our in-car in the sprint races. Premium Luxury RV Rentals, thank you very much for the accommodations in this cold weather. We've certainly appreciated it. The Race Tailor, Sunoco Race Fuels, Scott Grody Travel, thank you all for supporting our series in its year 9 for International GT.
Awesome. Yeah, and how cool is this? We've got Pippa Man, Mike Skinner, Andy Pilgrim, all in the same shot right here.
She got by.
Yeah, she got by, yeah. Turn 1, she made a great pass at turn 1 on Mike Skinner. And there's our David K.
Right.
Yeah, he's dropped down to 9. Pilgrim now 10. James Hammond in the 176. That green hood in 11. And down the hill comes Pippa Man in that all blue with the black. Just passing David Cutrori.
There it is. Pippa Man, David K, Mike Skinner fighting here at turn 1. How's it looking, Ken?
Looking good. I'd say, you know, what we're watching here somewhere down around the level of 7th, 8th, or 9th, and you know, all throughout we don't have to watch the front where there's great racing up front, but here's a great battle going on in the middle of the grid.
Yeah, sometimes I really like watching the mid-pack battles. That's some of the best racing, and they're having just as much fun as anybody else out there, because it's just always having fun to race with somebody that you're pretty equally yoked with, and you know, trying to get that advantage.
Javier Ripoll in 12th position, did his fastest lap just a moment ago at 127.2. Skeen still in the 123s. Amazing. Very consistent, but that's Mike Skeen for you.
Stephen Hammond, David Tuati still in this battle. Stephen Hammond right now ahead of David Tuati. So David K got around.
Wow.
Pippa Man.
Yeah. David's in the 4-liter car, that little bit of extra power to his advantage.
Yeah, you've got to really pick your moments, haven't you, here? I mean, you're fighting, you're racing, but you're also dealing with black traffic as well, or slower cars, and that's quite an art in itself.
They're doing,
under pressure.
Knock on wood, they're doing a very good job.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's Tom, how do I say his last name? Kopczynski?
Yeah, another K, yeah. The beer guy, all right, the beer guy. That's the beer car.
Right
Good
there in that Cayman, keeping up with him there.
Back on board, Chris Hall. Surface Transforms, in-car camera shot.
It's a big bump there going into turn 1. I've seen that twice. Right when they're kind of on the brakes, they hit a big bump as he comes up here behind one of the Panks.
Well, as you saw in the TA2 race, that could cause potential sort of wheel hop. And we saw Danny Bender go out yesterday, taking Adrian Lostowski with him. So yeah, that bump is a problem at turn 1. Always has been. And here's that beautiful Ferrari. Ah, it sounds so good, that car. So 4 minutes to go in what has been a great weekend of racing. Ken Fangler can be again pretty proud of his boys. They've kept it clean, they've kept it fun. 2 great races yesterday, all the way to the end between Audi and Porsche, and then today in the endurance, plenty of action and some very, very smart racing.
Yep, we move on to, from here, next stop for us is Road America, then to Lime Rock, Mid-Ohio, Watkins Glen, Virginia International Raceway, Circuit of the Americas, and wind up at Daytona.
Not a bad season.
No, fantastic.
Yeah, there isn't a stinker in the bunch.
No.
All those are just iconic world-class racing tracks.
And, you know, not only that, because of our partnership, or let's say invitation from Perella Holdings, we have them at the right times of year. We're at the right places at the right times.
Chasing the sun.
Yeah, exactly. And with good spacing throughout, you know, we're basically a month apart. We're off July and August, but, you know, it's just, you know, it makes for a fantastic schedule. And quite honestly, that's a major part of our success, is that we're at the right tracks at the right time.
There's our current leader, Mike Skeen. Mark Matisse playing it perfectly. Who would have thought, you know, we'd do an hour race with 43 cars on the grid this cold without double yellows. They called that one perfectly so far. 3 minutes left.
Yep.
Don't want to do the jinx.
Yeah,
don't jinx it.
Jinx it, yes.
So Skeen's had a good weekend.
Yeah, certainly has. Yes, no doubt.
We should put him out in another group to see how he gets on.
Yeah, there must be something else for him to drive, yes.
Speaking of Mike Skeen, he's partnered with Will Wachs, our 3-time Stuttgart champion in International GT. They're racing in another series together as teammates, so it's pretty thick, the camaraderie through the field with International GT.
And racing Acura in IMSA? Is it Acura? I think it is.
I'm not sure.
He's headed over to what I used to call World Challenge, but you know, with a Cayman cell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Skeen making his way in the 77. Got a little bit of traffic now, but he'll deal with it.
All right, we say bye to Ken Fangler as he goes up, talks to race control, and goes out to his huge International GT winner circle.
Yeah, as we watch Skeen, just a reminder, Stephen Hammond doing a very good job in the 72, David Tuati in the 68, and we lost Tom Pank, clutch problems for him, and he retired early. And here is your second place man. You can be happy with that. He said to you at the beginning, I want a good result. I do not want to be taken on the line today, and he hasn't been.
But Stephen Hammond, if he can hold on to this, he's going to be very happy about this finish. He was a little disappointed that he got taken within the last probably 500 yards of the race yesterday, and he's got it over David Tuati right now if he can bring it home in this current position. According to our scoring right now, this is all provisional.
Sure. Pippa Mann just did her fastest lap. We've got the white flag out. They're currently in 8th position. She did a 1:27.4.
And there's our race leader with the white flag, Mike Skeen, Mark Matisse. In that what we're calling a 4.1 liter Porsche. In our Mission Foods GT Cup Trophy category with International GT. I want to thank Mission Foods and Juan Gonzalez for all of his support as he comes up here through the Optima turn, Optima batteries, and then he's coming into Mission Foods turn 7 here at Road Atlanta.
Effortless, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Skeen is really fun to watch.
You'll see the closing speed from the drone, how much quicker Skeen is, and look, right on his tail now, and he'll just jink out. Well, maybe not, like you said, no need to overtake.
Yeah, Mike Skeen is definitely a win as slowly as you can kind of driver.
Yep.
Make sure he doesn't do anything to jeopardize this checkered flag.
And I can see them preparing the checkered flag for Mike Skeen. And there it is, the checkered flag waves for another win for Skeen. He won in TA2 yesterday, and now he wins in International GT in that beautiful prepared Porsche. And he, along with Mark Mattis, have done the business, and they timed it to perfection.
Here we go.
This is good.
There's Stephen Hammond. He's not racing the car in front of him. It's just him by himself. There's no sight of David Tuati. So Stephen Hammond is going to take second overall, but first, I think, in his class.
And he does?
No, he's going to be second in his class, according to my scoring.
Great run by Stephen Hammond. And there's David Tuati. Great shots here from green light as they come through. Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers giving us a shot of the start-finish line so we can see how everybody finishes.
So let's hear it from Mike Skeen. Excellent stuff. And the Mike Skeen fans, if you're watching out there, he does it again. Excellent stuff. My thanks to Ken Fangler and, of course, Ben Sissel. Ben's heading down there to see what's happening. Plenty more SVRA coverage coming from our Speed Tour and, of course, our big feature race coming up today. We have a quiet time here at Atlanta for a while, but then we come back with our feature race, which is the TA XGT SGT GT feature race of some 65 minutes. And we'll also have more SVRA coming up. We've got Group 6 and 12 Caymans coming up as well. We'll take a short break here from Road Atlanta. It's a beautiful day, a little chilly, but it'll warm up. Join us after this break.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Welcome back. That's my Jonathan Green impersonation. My favorite group right here. We've got group 1, 3, 4, 5, Mazda, 5B. This is my favorite group here in SVRA. Look at this, that's the number 73. David. No, I'm in the commentator's booth. That should be 73B. I was just at grid. I went down to go check on all my drivers. That's Tyler Klein there in that NB, the number 94. Rob Trollinger in that NB 2003 Mazda Miata. I'm joined by Scott Conway. Scott Conway, the longtime Road Atlanta commentator, PA commentator. Rob, Scott, what's your favorite in this group? Do you like the new Miatas or do you like the older production sports cars?
I like the Miatas, but I also like the production cars. I used to drive an MG Midget, so my favorite is Rick Fraser's number 007, the MG Midget out there. I used to drive an MG Midget, and it was a lot of fun around here. I drove it before they put the chicane in, what we now call as 10A and 10B, so that's my favorites.
Nice. So let's go through, because if you're a fan of motorsports, you don't get this kind of diversity very much. We just saw a front-wheel drive front-engine car. We've got rear-wheel drive front-engine cars. That first car there, Chris D'Amico, is a 1971 Malik. So we've got a Porsche 9146, a Malik, a Lola Sports Racer, a Sports Racer Ford from the SCCA, an Austin Healey Sprite, a Miata, a Porsche 911 RS, a BMW 2002, a Morgan Plus 4, a wood-framed, ash-framed chassis. We've got Honda CRX, MG Midget, like you were talking about, a 911 ST, an Alfa Romeo GT V6, a Datsun 200 SX. So we definitely have a variety of cars out there. Now the drivers, starting in first is Chris D'Amico, followed by Robert Davis, Aaron Smith in fourth, Scott Frazier in fifth, Tyler Klein sixth, Rob Trollinger, David K, as we're going to call him, because he was in the last race and I can't say his last name. Dan McChesney, Benny Bish in a 73 2002, Mark Pomeroy, Gil Jackson in a new to him Mazda Miata, Chase Maurer is in the Honda CRX. That might put Logan Maurer in that GTV, we'll see. Yusuf Muhammad, got a great story about Yusuf Muhammad, 1999 Mazda Miata. Andy McLean, great to have him back in that blue Austin Healey Bug-Eye Sprite. Rick Frazier in your 007 MG Midget. David Bearden in a Porsche 911 ST with Zapata Racing. Bronson Randall in a BMW 2002. Glenn Maurer is going to be in the Alfa Romeo GTV6. Bert Stein in Bubba, the MGA. Dennis Jones, my friend, welcome to SVRA in that beautiful red Porsche 911S. Ron Fuller in a Datsun 200. And Chris Rader in an Alfa Romeo GTV. This is going to be a fun race, Scott.
Yeah, and a lot of these drivers were up at Charlotte Motor Speedway just last weekend. The Maurers were up there, both Logan and Glenn, as well as Chase. Also, David Bearden was up there in that Porsche. Chris D'Amico's Malik should be the class of this field, but we'll wait and see.
Well, we're looking there. Juan Gonzalez, who had pole position, is starting at the back. That may have been a choice of his in that 9146, but we'll see Juan Gonzalez in that Mission Foods 9146 pull to the front. Let's see what happens as they take the green flag here at Road Atlanta, Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Chris D'Amico jumps out to the front, but Aaron Smith right there in that Sports Racer Ford to the inside. Good start here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, they were very close in qualifying. I forgot about Juan Gonzalez. I don't know how, because he's in that bright yellow Porsche, the Mission Foods entry, but he was actually the fastest qualifier. But D'Amico and David were both very close in qualifying. That Malik 11B is from Sir Arthur Malik. He designed about 80 of these cars. Each one was a little bit further development of the other. The main component of that car is that it will out-corner just about any car out there.
Wow, that is cool. Now, Juan Gonzalez, you can see him back there in that white Porsche. Here's what I think what happened. I bet you Butch Leitzinger, who's his coach and teammate, said, hey, it might be a better strategy to start at the back and use your tire warmers to the last minute. So maybe he's on tire warmers because he is working his way through the field. So obviously that might have been the best call as our Mission Foods man comes around Mission Foods turn 7. There's a great shot of David Bearden with Zapata Racing out of Nashville there in that beautiful Porsche 911 RS, one of the men that got me into racing.
David Bearden, that Porsche was a little bit troublesome for him up at Charlotte. It started out well, but it for a little bit past the halfway point, it began to give him problems, although he did win both of the feature races last weekend. But Bearden, a very accomplished driver, and he's had that Porsche for a while, so he enjoys driving it.
So there's Chris D'Amico, Robert Davis coming into the turns here, missing John Nash. Chris D'Amico and John Nash have had some great battles in this group, and John Nash's Lotus 7, but there's Robert Davis out there giving him a good run for his money in a Lola Sports Racer.
Yeah, again, qualifiers, and they had a good qualifying battle with D'Amico being the faster of the two, but not by that much. I also, we're keeping an eye on the production cars that Scott Fraser, the 2019 and 2020 Bell Helmet Award winner. I'm surprised Andrew McLean isn't a little bit closer to him in the Austin Hilly Bug-Eye Sprite. McLean is the defending Bell Helmet Championship winner for F Production. That Bug-Eye Sprite, those two pods or two what I call headlights are up in the up position. That's because this was a low-cost car, the Bug-Eye Sprite, and they were supposed to be retractable headlights, but the mechanisms for making those headlights retractable were deemed to be too expensive, so they left them in the upright position. It looked like either frog's eyes or bug eyes, and that's where they get the name Austin Hilly Bug-Eye Sprite.
Look at that, Juan Gonzalez moving his way up. Going to take it over here, coming through Mission Foods, turn 7. Juan Gonzalez in that 9146, really showing some speed here. I'm pretty sure that's Jared Kahlo's SVRA cameras there on Juan Gonzalez. We're going to have some great in-car as he came through the field. And look at that, here comes Chris D'Amico down here.
Yeah, Juan Gonzalez in that 914.6, that could either be a 4-liter or 6-liter Porsche engine. Juan Gonzalez's car has a 6-liter engine in it, and that's reminiscent, not the right color, but reminiscent of the famous Brumus Porsche that Peter Gregg had.
Yeah, Juan Gonzalez, a longtime Porsche racer in all kinds of series, back in the 962 days, and we really thank Juan Gonzalez for all of his support with SpeedTour. In just a couple weeks, we're going to be at the Mission Foods Sonoma SpeedTour with Juan Gonzalez. But I got to tell a story about this man right here.
Yeah, I was waiting for that Yusuf Muhammad story.
Beautiful Miata there, Yusuf Muhammad. He's been racing with us a couple years. He raced yesterday, left. He had to go put on a tuxedo, meet his wife downtown for a convention, because Yusuf Muhammad, here racing with us this weekend, was honored as one of the most influential Muslims in the state of Georgia.
Wow.
I've known Yusuf for a long time. It's really cool for him to be honored like that. And then thank you, Yusuf, for coming back and racing with us. Yusuf Muhammad just honored last night as one of the most influential Muslims in Georgia. That's quite an honor.
Yusuf, a longtime club racer. Muhammad had been racing with SCCA and regionals and stepped up to the Super Tour and the Majors Series. Muhammad actually won both rounds here at the 2021 Speed Tour in that Mazda Miata, but he's had a lot of competition, especially from Rob Trollinger, Gil Jackson, and David Kutrawi.
Yeah, that is cool. I love seeing these Miatas out here. I'm a big British car fan. I love my MGs, I love my Triumphs. And I feel like the Mazda Miata is just kind of is a continuation of these great MG midgets that's right behind him there with Mr. Frazier.
Yeah, Mazda Miatas are the most spec racer raced car in the world. We had 64 of them here 2 weeks ago at the SCCA Super Tour. Miata is a great car if you're thinking about getting into racing. Their parts availability is great. The car is fun to race, and it can teach you smoothness. It can teach you something that all racers need, which is patience, but it can also teach you racecraft. These are not cars where you can horsepower by somebody. You actually have to work, buddy, and you have to be smooth. If you scrub any speed whatsoever off of these cars, you lose speed, and it's very difficult to gain that back.
Yeah, there's a joke in racing of Miata stands for Miata is always the answer. If anybody says, what kind of car should I race? Miata. What's the most reliable car out there? Miata. What's the cheapest car to race? Miata. So it's Miata is always the answer.
And Ben, you were talking about Juan Gonzalez having tire warmers. You know, we're in Georgia. You would think it'd be very warm here, but it is not. The temperatures are luckily will maybe get out of the 40s into a 50-degree reading, but it is a very brisk wind out there, and tire temperatures are very important to get up here. The track is very cold, so not unusual to have tire warmers.
So we just got a visit from another Road Atlanta legend, Terry Earwood, collecting my SD cards from the TA2 race yesterday. But it's really cool to see Terry Earwood out here. This is, unfortunately, his last day. He's retiring from Trans Am after today. I'm going to be sad to see him go, but glad to know that he's going to be out here racing with us and some drag racing and some other things. So I'm sure it's not the last time we're going to run into Terry Earwood.
Actually, he'll be here next week, and he's teaching at Skip Barber Racing School.
Yeah, see, there you go. There's James Bond right there. Mr. Frazier in that 007 midget. Andy McLean there in that Bug Eye Sprite, followed by David Bearden, followed by a Morgan, followed by a Honda CRX. You know, where do you get to say this kind of stuff? That's the cool thing about SVRA racing and these mixed group races.
And what a disparity there. Morgan 4+4, that company goes back to 1918. The Morgan 4+4 was produced first in 1936. Right behind it is a Honda CRX. It goes back to maybe It's actually a family car that Logan Meyer was getting ready to sell, and they decided to make it a race car. They've been out with us at SVRA for several years. Again, they run both the feature races up at Charlotte Motor Speedway last week, and we're going to be going to New Orleans next on the SVRA Tour.
Yeah, just I think in
April
11 or 12 days we'll be at the NOLA Speed Tour, so make sure you get your tickets to come out to the NOLA Speed Tour. So we follow along there with Tyler Klein coming up. Great pass there over Trollinger.
Yeah, Tyler Klein and Rob Trollinger, again, two SCCA club racers, and this is what Miata racing is all about right here, Ben. You see them size them up for a pass. Usually the draft is very key in these Mazda Miatas, as the draft is the way to stay up front and keep up front. Road Atlanta with three long straightaways, very conducive to drafting, and it's a lot of fun in those Mazda Miatas.
Look at this shot too, Scott, because I've never thought of a Miata as a big car, but it looks enormous compared to that, what I call Kermit the Frog Eye Sprite.
Yeah, the Bug Eye Sprite looked almost like a miniature car as the Miatas were trying to go by it. Rick Fraser and Scott Fraser, both the local guys. I believe it is Rick that is from Woodbridge, Georgia, and it is Stockbridge, Georgia for Scott Fraser. And they split the wins last year. Rick actually led the F production class in the early runnings of last year's sprint race, but it was Scott Fraser that took over the point lead and was the sprint point champion for the third year in a row.
That's crazy. Love having them out here, local to Atlanta.
Yep.
This is their home track, but it's not unlike them to see them at Road America and Sebring and Watkins Glen and VIR, so it's cool to have them out, as we saw the number 9 at Dan McChesney coming through in that beautiful 911. Here we go. Here's a beat. Alfa Romeo versus BMW 2002.
Now, Chris Rader was the fastest qualifier, but Rader had a mechanical problem in yesterday's second qualifying session, so we're glad to see him out there as the Alfa Romeo GTV leading the BMWs. BMW 2002, the first two standing for it being a 2-liter engine in that BMW, and the second two reminiscent and standing for the fact that it has 2 doors on it. It was a successor to the BMW 1600. And they're chasing that Alfa Romeo GTV, which obviously is very healthy now. And whatever mechanical they had yesterday, they've been able to get that taken care of.
That's Benny Bish there in that number 99A, BMW 2002. Oh, and Rader showing us some smoke there. Is that the, I don't know if he came over the curb. We didn't get to see that.
I was hoping that wasn't that mechanical problem rearing its ugly head again.
Commentator's curse there, Scott.
I was just saying it was there. I didn't say anything else. Yeah, there is the announcer's curse, of course. Those two BMWs, Benny Bish and I believe it was Charles Cates Jr., along with Bronson Randall, they're trying to attack that Alfa Romeo, who may or may not have a little bit of trouble there.
There's Andy McLean. So glad to have Andy back. Andy had quite a single car incident at Sebring just a few weeks ago, and he actually rolled the car at turn 17 on Friday and was racing it again with us on Sunday. So that just shows just how great the car was put together. Mitch and his crew, And I was surprised to see Andy out there, and he did really well in the race.
Yeah, Andy and Sebring have not gotten along the last couple of years. Andy had a DNF in last year's first race at Sebring and did not finish that well in second race. But when he came here to Road Atlanta, he won one of the two races. I believe it was Fraser that won the other one. And again, McLean, the defending Bell Helmet champion, significant of the Golden Bell Helmet Awards that are awarded at Circuit of the Americas for the SVRA National Championship.
So there's Mark Pomeroy. This is like a Concours winning show car out there racing with us. The great thing about these right-hand drive Morgans, you can really see how they're working the wheel. Followed by David Beard in there with Zapata racing. And then we've got the Mauers chasing each other. The Honda CRX and the Alfa Romeo GTV, father-son.
Yeah, the first time that I saw Morgan was when I was small, driving around with my dad. We went to Hallett Motor Speedway, and Anatoly Aratunov had one of those. And my dad said, just kind of put your hand on the car, just kind of knock on it. I said, that's a wooden car. He goes, yeah, it's a wooden frame. I'd never seen one like that before, and I've never seen another one like it. Morgan 4+4, great. And yeah, we have father and son chasing each other. We have the Honda CRX, that is the son, chased by the father in the Alfa Romeo GTV6.
Yeah. So he's living up to his name, is Chase Mauer, as his dad chases him.
Yeah, Logan usually runs one of those cars in the Enduro, so we may have all three of the family members out there a little bit later this afternoon in the SVRA Enduro.
So I'm showing right now that Chris D'Amico has taken the lead from Juan Gonzalez. I don't know if Juan has dropped out somewhere. I can't see, but that's what's going on. Chris D'Amico, Juan Gonzalez, followed by Robert Davis, Aaron Smith in fourth, Tyler Klein fifth, Rob Trollinger sixth, Scott Frazier seventh, Dan McChesney eighth, Chris Rader ninth, and Benny Bish in 10th.
So the Alfa Romeo holding off the BMW. Chris D'Amico, Group 5B FM, he is the defending sprint point champion, and that is unusual to say Chris D'Amico because the past 9 years it has been Travis Engen in a Lotus 23B, but Chris D'Amico taking that sprint point championship away from him last year in that Malik 11B, and we hope to see Travis Engen at our next SVRA running at NOLA, not there at least on the West Coast, swing through WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca and the Mission Foods Sonoma event. They usually have very good battles. The Lotus 23B, the Malik 11B, if you look at it, it's kind of reminiscent of that Lotus. But again, that Malik, its main strength is it can out-corner, and it was designed to out-corner any car of its time. If Gonzalez has pulled off, that's a tough break for Juan Gonzalez because he won one of the sprint races down in Sebring, the second round, opening round of the Southeast Tour of SVRA. And it'd be a tough break for Juan Gonzalez, president and CEO of Mission Foods. Benny Bish in that BMW still chasing the Alfa Romeo. Chris Rader leading an Alfa Romeo. That is the Group 8B sedans. B sedan was a SCCA class that ran for many years, and it encompassed a lot of the sedans, the Datsun 510s, along with the BMW 2002 and Alfa Romeo GTV. It also encompassed, Ben, the under 2 liter challenge in the SCCA Trans Am.
About 5 minutes left in this race. Great racing here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta with the Atlanta SpeedTour. We've had a lot of people camping, as you can see. Had a lot of fans here. Great car show yesterday. We will be back next year around the same time. We love coming here to Road Atlanta as we look there as Glenn Mauer ducks out just a little bit on Chase.
It has to be great fun, to take your family to one of these events is something, but to actually be able to race against them, that has to be something special, certainly when it's his dad and they're racing against both of the sons, both Logan and Chase.
Got a great shot there at Gil Jackson following Yusuf Muhammad.
Rob Trollinger is still trying to get around for the Mazda Miata lead, but so far has not been able to. Again, those two Mazda Miatas very equal. Those are the 1.8 liter class Miatas. They have 1.6 liter and 1.8 liter first generation and second generation Mazdas in this Miata Heritage Cup. Again, a great entry point if you're considering getting into vintage racing, you're not quite sure what class you want to get into, as you said, Miata is the answer.
Yeah. There's David Bearden. David Bearden, the number 73. He's in that white Porsche RS. He's been racing that since I've known him. Really fast with Zapata Racing. Glad to have him here with us in Group 8.
I believe that's the little larger 2.5-liter engine that Porsche made for that particular model, and he is chasing Dan McChesney, I believe, in the Group 8A production. McChesney leading in the Porsche 911 RS, and then it would be Bearden second in the Group 8A production as we watch that white Porsche going into, I believe that's turn 7. That's the slowest turn at Road Atlanta, first gear turn for any car that's here this weekend. And then it leads on to the long back straightaway, which is really not a straightaway. It kind of meanders back and forth, but make no mistake, it is flat out all the way down into turn 10A and 10B, where you have heavy braking, you're downshifting and turning quickly left, quickly right before you come out of turn 11 underneath the bridge, and that 4-story drop down to turn number 12. Should be getting right up towards maybe the white flag here coming up very shortly.
Yeah, and I've got Juan Gonzalez back in the lead. There he is, Juan Gonzalez. I love having Juan Gonzalez here, but every time I see his car, it makes me hungry for Mexican food. I am a huge Mexican food fan. I love his chips, his tortillas, his salsa, his queso, and anytime I see that car, it's Taco Tuesday for me.
Well, you know, funny you should mention that, because lunchtime is coming up right after this, and you can get some of that mission food.
I'm going to. Oh, I love it. He does bring chips with him, and on the podium, and I like to, when I see those bags of chips, I kind of steal them. I put away for myself. So thank you, Juan Gonzalez, for being such a great supporter of Speed Tour. We're about to be at the Mission Foods Sonoma Speed Tour. Our title sponsor there, Juan Gonzalez. But great to have him here with SVRA International GT.
And Juan Gonzalez, one of the main reasons that the International GT series has shown such great growth. Juan was one of the initial sponsors of that series, and it's great when your sponsor also drives in the series.
Yeah. And feeds the series.
And feeds the series, yes. And of course, he's expanded his sponsorship not only through SVRA, but into Trans Am, and also this year into the Formula Regional Americas and the F4 US. Their first events will be at NOLA April 8th through the 10th. Again, going down that long back straightaway, it's 8, 9, and 10. When you get turns 10A and 10B, Ben, that used to be straight. They used to be what's called a dip. It used to go down and then back up.
Andy McLean has found his way into the kitty litter. Not sure where that is. I'm guessing that's 10A, 10B.
Yep.
Let's see. Yep, that's Franklin Road, 10A, 10B there. Just looks like he might have had some brake failure there. And deep into the kitty litter. That is designed to stop the car, which obviously it did just fine with doing minimum damage to the car. There's a lot of cleanup that has to happen because there's gravel everywhere in there. But it looks like Andy McLean is stuck in the kitty litter in 10A.
That'll definitely be a local yellow there that may bring out a double yellow because, again, as you said, that is designed, you're coming down from your highest horsepower into heavy braking, as we were mentioning a little bit before, quick left and right. And that car may be in a dangerous position. I know this race is about to be concluded anyway, but we may get a double yellow.
I see the white flag out, so Juan Gonzalez received the white flag. We ride with, he comes down the hill, back up the hill. Got some in-car cameras there. That's going to be really fun to watch, so stay tuned to our social media because he's come from the back to the front. Juan Gonzalez, Mission Foods. He comes around Mission Foods turn 7, but there's Chris D'Amico right behind him. Juan Gonzalez in his sights, and you know they're not racing in the same class, but it's all about pride here and the overall win, and I know Chris D'Amico would love to take that overall win.
We better get it done on the back straightaway because that local yellow will preclude any pass at turn 10A and 10B.
So here they come, the white car just under the Motul Bridge, followed by that blue car. It's Chris D'Amico maybe closing the gap a little bit.
But he's got to do it before he gets into that braking zone. He's got to get by that Porsche. So will it be Gonzalez or will it be D'Amico first out from underneath the bridge, Ben?
Not sure. We're going to see. This is going to be kind of a crazy finish here. Group 5. Oh, looks like it's probably going to be Juan Gonzalez as they pass in front of our view right here. Juan Gonzalez takes it by just about 3 car lengths in the front. So congratulations to Juan Gonzalez and his whole team, Leo and Butch. But some great racing here at the Atlanta SpeedTour. Looks like it's Juan Gonzalez, followed by Chris D'Amico, Robert Davis, Aaron Smith, Tyler Klein, Scott Frazier. That was a fun race.
Yeah, it was
I
very
love
fun.
these small bore production car races.
Yeah.
Small and medium bore with Group 8 being out there.
And a very dramatic finish, too, with D'Amico almost getting
Yeah.
by Gonzalez. And how did my little 007 do there, Ben, the MG Midget? I think he finished maybe 3rd in F production, but a good drive by Rick Fraser in the MG Midget behind the Austin Hilly Bug-Eye Sprite and the Austin Hilly Sprite of Scott Fraser.
Look at that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to throw to commercial. Go grab yourself some Mission Chips, salsa queso. I'm about to go have lunch. This makes me hungry. Juan Gonzalez, congratulations. Come back to the Atlanta SpeedTour. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
When the road calls, we answer. Hit the road with insurance that protects your classic for what it's actually worth and save an average of $264. Get a quote today at Haggerty.com. When hours invested become miles enjoyed. Whether you're customizing or building a car from the ground up, Haggerty protects your vehicle with guaranteed value coverage. Get a quote today at Haggerty.com.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.